Are you looking for better shooting experience? How about a facility where you can shoot all of your firearms in the same day, where you can move and shoot steel, draw from the holster, and practice your rifle work out to 600 yards? Shoot a very challenging sporting clays course or a round of trap or skeet. You can do all that and much more at the Aurora Sportsman's Club. Hi, I'm David Lombardo, president of the Aurora Sportsman's Club. If you love the outdoors, you'll want to know all about Northern Illinois' largest outdoor shooting facility, the Aurora Sportsman's Club. If you're a novice looking for a basic course, an experienced shooter looking for an advanced course, or perhaps you want to participate in your favorite shooting event, or just spend an enjoyable day with a family, the Aurora Sportsman's Club is the only shooting facility in the region that offers all that and more. Interested? Then you won't want to miss the next orientation and tour of the Aurora Sportsman's Club. Call, email, or visit our website today to find out how you can become part of a better shooting experience at the Aurora Sportsman's Club in Waterman, Illinois.
He is the human Molotov cocktail that they can legally throw into the system that stole their lives from them.
So we're going to create a new government that serves you, your family, and your country. It's time for On Target Radio, Chicagoland's only radio show dedicated to the red meat issues that affect your life, from gun control to freedom of speech. Now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues, here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
Welcome to On Target Radio. Tonight, David's rant of the week is, and what if it really is all about the children, with David and Gretchen talking about teachers being trained to shoot students with yet another look at anti-gun laws. Then, Trump strikes a blow against identity politics. And finally, is Dr. Strangelove coming true with the Russians inventing a doomsday weapon? All that and more on tonight's On Target Radio. So give us a call at 815-205-1584. That's 815-205-1584. Or go to Facebook, like our page On Target Radio, and ask a question or make a comment there.
Today's Rant of the Week and more of David's work can be found at bearingarms.com. And now, from the seething cauldron of personal opinion, it's David's Rant of the Week.
You don't care about the children is the most common canard used by the anti-gun cabal, otherwise known as liberals. Any hint of resistance to the gun control theme du jour, and liberals would parade out the "you don't care about children" meme. But what happens when the children are the bad guys? There's an ever-increasing number of shootings, and particularly school shootings, perpetrated by kids. Liberals go into core meltdown when that happens, because if they so much as utter "you don't care about the kids," well, it sounds as if they're defending some post-pubescent whack job whose answer to being insulted by a 10-year-old in class is to kill everyone in school. The real problem isn't an issue about caring about children. It's caring about the evil that walks among us, and evil can take many forms, including that of a young boy. The two things almost all of them have in common is they have serious and commonly well-known mental health issues, and they go shoot up people in places where they know John Q. Public won't be armed. Mass murderers are generally remarkable cowards. To the sheepdog segment of society, those individuals that protect the great herd of sheep known as John Q. Public from the wolves that prey upon them, the answer is quite simple and logical. The more law-abiding citizens carrying a gun, the better. Their meme, compliments of Clint Smith, president of Thunder Ranch, is, "An armed man will kill an unarmed man with monotonous regularity." And so it is that the law-abiding, country-loving, red meat-eating, self-reliant sheepdog segment of society promotes the lawful ownership of firearms for self-defense and encourages concealed carry without any restriction. Let's be pragmatic about this. I carry a gun pretty much everywhere I go, and have been for years. I have never once gone anywhere that I am suddenly overwhelmed with the desire to shoot an innocent person. Who I am does not change, predicated upon where I happen to be at the moment, and I'm not judgmental about who it is that's posing the threat. It is that mentality that I will defend myself from whomever, wherever, that is yet again causing liberals to go ballistic. You see, we really do care about the children, but you wouldn't think so based upon a recent article in The Nation titled, "Teachers Are Being Trained to Shoot Their Students." In response to an ever-increasing amount of school shootings, 11 so far this year, the Buckeye Firearms Foundation is funding the FASTER program. The 3-day training session for teachers includes practical shooting exercises and a day focused on mindset development. The latter includes training on making split-second assessments and reacting appropriately. The training emphasizes the shooter may very well be a young student that the teacher knows. Admittedly, that's psychologically a very tough position to be in, but the kid you were teaching algebra this morning is shooting other students this afternoon and is no longer a kid, but rather a killer. You're no less dead if you're shot by a 14-year-old. Instructors encourage the teacher participants to picture exactly that type of individual as the shooter. Philosophically, the idea is desensitization. If the teacher can visualize a student shooting other students and regularly does that visualization, then they're winning the fight in their minds first, so that should a real situation occur, they'll be mentally prepared and prevail. Not unexpectedly, liberals reject the idea of arming teachers and believe schools as gun-free zones are somehow going to be effective, despite the obvious fact that it hasn't been effective. While the left calls it a cliche, the fact is it takes a good person with a gun to stop a bad person with a gun. In his 71 Republic article, Why Gun-Free Zones Are a Sham, Andrew Sisson points out that the states and cities with the strictest gun laws consistently have higher violent crime statistics. Chicago, for instance, has some of the toughest gun control laws in the nation, and it has a well-earned reputation as the murder capital of the United States. According to the website Jackass, which keeps track of such things, 213 people have been shot so far this year. Of the 41 homicides, 36 were killed with a firearm and 177 wounded, yet every time you turn around in the city of Chicago, you see a no gun sign. Let's be clear on this. The first known murder involved one brother killing another with a rock. History does not mention an immediate move to institute no rock zones. Moving forward from Cain and Abel, whack jobs have been killing people ever since, centuries before firearms were invented. In point of fact, the largest mass murders in recent history didn't involve a firearm. The 9/11 terrorist attack killed thousands of citizens with airplanes, yet no one suggested banning airplanes. Timothy McVeigh used a petroleum-based fertilizer bomb to kill 168 people in the federal building in Oklahoma City, yet no one suggested getting rid of fertilizer. Well, until President Trump came along. He's trying to get the fertilizer out of the legislature. The bottom line is we do care about kids. We know schools are target-rich environments for every whack job that comes along. We know that law-abiding John Q. Public can be trusted to carry a firearm and be judicious about its use. But most of all, we know that teachers should be armed to protect the most vulnerable of our society, because an armed man will kill an unarmed man with monotonous regularity. And that, Gretchen, is my rant for the week.
Yeah, it is sobering to think about that the person that may be the active shooter may be under 18. I mean, that is it
could be your student.
Right, it could be somebody that you know. It is disturbing to think about that, but the fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter who's shooting the place up. They have to be stopped.
He's no longer a student. He's a killer.
Well, right. I mean, they're a threat, and it doesn't really matter what the threat is.
And, the guy who wrote this article, Teachers Are Being Trained to Shoot Their Students, obviously is a liberal.
Well, it's a woman, actually.
I'm sorry, yes, but it's...
I don't know any men named Patricia.
Well, yes, you are correct. However, I was thinking of what I was just about to say, which is a guy. There's a guy named Adam Skaggs of, get this, the Giffords Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence. I wonder if this is going to be skewed at all.
Probably not.
Probably not. No, it'll be just pegged. But he says it's the idea that people need guns everywhere. City streets, public parks, even government buildings. It's also the response of a nation at war with itself. Okay. I can agree with that.
So far, we're tracking together. Yeah,
we're both zoned in on that. Now, you know, it didn't say in the article, but it's Buckeye Firearms Foundation. We're pretty sure this is Ohio.
It's Ohio.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's a program called Faster, and it's a 3-day training session for teachers. They come from all over and take this thing. And basically, what it says is teachers should be armed, and they should know what they're doing. They should practice it. But they have to visualize. We did this stuff in aviation, and you can do it in any sort of psychomotor high stress environment. You can sit in a chair every night for 15 minutes and just picture. I'm here teaching, and somebody comes through that door with a gun, they start shooting. You just picture that. Because as you well know, we teach our students all the time, there is a cognitive dissonance. We are not psychologically prepared as a race for people to kill us.
Well, as human beings.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We're not as a well, maybe races, as a class, as a species.
Right,
Okay.
species.
Yeah, we are not prepared for that, and we are not prepared to kill people psychologically. If we
Right.
were, we'd be extinct already.
Most of us live in a world where active shooter is not a thing.
Right. I mean, look, we're here. What's southeast Chicago? 15 miles?
A little farther, probably, but yeah.
20
Yeah.
miles? It's a war zone. You wouldn't know that living here.
No.
So, you know, Chicago, which gets the rap of being murder capital of the United States, you're talking about a very small enclave where all that stuff's going on.
Right.
I don't know the last time there was a murder in our area. There was what's his name, offed his wife some years ago, long time ago actually
Right.
now. So
we have a number of murders in Plainfield, but it's always domestic.
right, it's domestic violence stuff. It's not people going out shooting up schools. So this stuff, they treat this like it's. I hate to use the word epidemic because it sort of is an epidemic. It's an epidemic that's more culture based.
Yes.
It's not color based. It's
Not-
culture
Not
based.
strictly.
Right,
Yeah,
it's a culture thing.
Not strictly
Yeah.
color.
But if you're teaching in that school, everything's going fine 1 minute, and the next minute somebody's coming and shooting people, it's not unreasonable that you have an intellectual disconnect for that. It's hard to grasp that. And it's not unreasonable that you would try, Bobby, don't do that. Well, Bobby offs you then.
Well, and we talk about this all the time too. That when you're in that situation, you're automatically behind the 8 ball because it's
Exactly.
reactive. It's not proactive.
When we return, we're going to talk a lot more about this subject. And we'll be back after these messages with more.
On Target Radio.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. The On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook, and lunch are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invite you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com.
Or call 815-741-3474. That's 815-741-3474. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
Do you dread writing? Is it challenging to find just the right words to get your point across? Do you put off developing marketing materials because you just don't know where to start? You get one chance to make a first impression, and my editor, Creative Business Services, can help make it a strong, positive one. Hi, this is Gretchen Fritz, co-host of On Target Radio, and I'd like to tell you about My Editor, a business I started to help you overcome those concerns. What you're experiencing is very common. My Editor has helped business owners, candidates for political office, and even authors and public speakers. At My Editor Creative Business Services, we can simply edit your existing work or help you develop an entire writing plan of action from initial project design through final copy. We are easy to work with and will help you get your point across in the most effective manner. If words escape you, send me an email at myeditor@mail.com. Use My Editor Creative Business Services and go to print with confidence. That's myeditor@mail.com or find us on Facebook.
You're listening to On Target Radio with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
So, this woman is saying in this article, teachers are being trained to shoot their students. What an astounding proposition, talking about training teachers. This tragic lesson about winning in their minds first against that student, this adherence to a toxic shoot-'em-up Wild West ethic puts teachers in a clear bind. They must labor from the untenable position of actively imagining their students in the crosshairs, the objects of target practice. If this isn't the end of civilization, I don't know what is. Excuse me. Let me just take a step back here.
There's no hyperbole at all.
Right.
Let me just say that. Go ahead.
The teacher's in the classroom teaching, doing what she does or he does for a living, and everything is normal, and somebody comes in shooting. Pretty much throws this away, don't you think? Toxic crosshairs and stuff. Oh, well, gee, I don't want to stop them because that would be... What?
Because I like them.
Yeah.
Well, right.
Liberalism. They would rather people die than defend themselves.
Yeah. I mean, apparently they would because given those two choices, that's what they reliably say.
It's A or B. You know, it's A or B.
Yeah, I mean, given that binary choice, they say, well, there shouldn't be guns there.
Right. What's Plan C? Well, let's wait for the police to arrive.
Right. Okay. Well,
they'll be here
yeah.
in about 20 minutes.
Plan C is what we've been doing
Exactly.
up to this point. You know, I mean, from Columbine, which is the beginning of most people's memory of school shootings,
yeah.
right? So from Columbine to now, we've been going with Plan C, and it doesn't work very well.
Not for us. It works for the guy.
Well,
yeah.
We don't care about that guy.
Democratic assumptions about this is her again. Democratic assumptions about the state having a monopoly on violence have been frayed by anarchic ideologies of every man for himself, and it brings that us versus them mentality in the classroom. Yeah, it is us versus them when somebody's shooting at you.
Well, but she's saying every man for themselves. No, that's not true. I was just talking yesterday about how if I'm in a shopping mall and someone comes in and starts spraying the hall, right. Spraying the crowd, my intention is to defend all of those people who are not known to me.
Right.
So I don't see how that's every man for himself.
Well, and that's true. You are right. That's the sheepdog mentality.
Sheepdogs are the opposite of every man for himself.
That is true. It is. We've always said that people go, I mean, you got paid. I didn't get paid. All right? 19 years, I didn't get paid. I wore the badge, I carried the gun. Dipwad over here is going to do this now.
He's signing up.
Much as I tried to talk him out of that, But
and the funny thing is, at some point I later thought about signing up to do it for free.
2 dipwads are going to do that.
I repented of that thought. I didn't follow through with it, but it did cross my mind to be like a volunteer bike cop in Plainfield, during the summer.
But see, here's the thing: people will say, "Why would you put on a gun and go out on the street and you don't even get paid for it?" And there isn't an answer to that.
There isn't.
The only answer is if you don't understand it. There's nothing I can say to you that will make it make sense.
I would say the answer is some people simply have an instinct to protect.
Sheepdogs.
Sheepdogs.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. That's the definition of a sheepdog.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, some people are just sheepdogs.
So, Brady campaign.
Brady
campaign to prevent gun violence. Yeah. A gun in the home was far more likely to be used to threaten a family member or intimate partner than in self-defense. Not only is the risk of homicide 3 times higher in homes with firearms, but in addition, keeping a firearm in the home increases the risk of suicide by a factor of 3 to 5 and increases the risk of suicide with a firearm by a factor of 17. Now, let's just get something straight. First of all, those numbers are bull. But suicide, okay, I want to commit suicide, there's a gun, yeah, I'll probably pick up the gun and do it. If there is no gun, I still want to commit suicide.
Right.
I'm going to do it with however I do it.
Right. That's I don't buy that because it's not like oh the gun caused the suicide.
Exactly.
No, the depression causes the suicide.
And I'm going to do it one way or the other.
Right. Exactly. If there is no gun, they'll use pills. My personal thing would either be carbon monoxide or pills. Pill/alcohol.
Carbon monoxide would probably be you start getting headache and then you don't much care.
Right, exactly.
But pills make you feel bad. They get sick.
Yeah, I think carbon monoxide would probably be a pretty good way to go. Yeah, I think pills with alcohol would be a close second.
Tune in next segment. We're going to talk about ways of killing yourself.
Oh, we just did that.
We're going to have an in-depth explanation.
Come on, everybody thinks about it, don't they?
No, I think about killing people occasionally. I don't think about killing myself.
Really? You've never thought about if I was going to off myself, how would I do it? Never? I'm the only one. Wow, okay.
Am I not egocentric? I don't think of that.
Well, no, that's true. You are.
I don't,
You're like, if I die, the world ceases to exist.
Exactly, right.
Give us a call and let us know how you would commit suicide. for any other people like me who've thought about it.
Bumper music for the next thing, we'll be singing Kevorkian Hour. You know.
The bumper music is like dun 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 dun.
And now Dr. Kevorkian on committing. Where is he still in the Slammer?
I don't know. I don't know what he's doing.
I'm not sure. He talking about low profile. Gone.
Yeah.
They locked him up for a while.
When they lock you up,
Yeah.
it kind of takes you out of the news. Unless you're Drew Peterson, that pretty much takes you out of the news cycle.
Yeah, and he's got the Blue Barrel franchise too. All those Blue Barrels we have. Have you ever thought about this? All those Blue Barrels that we use as sidearms. How do we know she's not in one of those barrels?
Yes, she could be.
Yeah, that's possible. You never know.
Well, because he's not a member of the club. That's how.
Let me tell you something. People just wander on the property. Now that we have electronic gates, it helps. But, you know, yeah, that's poaching. That was a problem for a while. Gun-free zones. You know, that's basically bull. So there's an article, and the article, you know, gives sites. Every site's numbers. And who knows? I don't know if our numbers are right. Numbers are numbers, all this stuff. But here's what we
Lying
know.
with statistics, we all do it.
What we do know, forget the numbers. What we do know are places that have ridiculous gun laws. New York, okay? You know, the New York, Manhattan. They got ridiculous gun laws. Chicago, ridiculous gun laws. Right. It's almost to the point where you can't go anywhere in the city of Chicago. Highest murder rates in the country. Except we do. Yeah, that's right.
But, we manage it.
but they have the highest percentage of murder rates. And it's Los Angeles. I mean, look at the gun control in California. Mm-hmm. That you talk about over-the-top stuff. California gun laws are insane. Now you can't even buy ammunition from anybody but a dealer licensed in Los Angeles.
And didn't they outlaw lead ammunition as well?
I don't know if they actually did it finally.
Deal.
They were talking about all the condors.
I think they did.
They may have. I mean, it's it's insane. And what is that? What effect has it had on the violent crime rate? Nothing. No. Zero. Nada. Not a thing.
No.
An armed society
is
a polite society.
Exactly. And it's just like here. You know, the murder statistics from certain areas of Chicago, not even Chicago as a whole, certain small enclaves in Chicago, make it look like, you know, Illinois/Chicago is hyper violent. Same thing in California. You know, I'm sure there's just certain, you know, hot spots of murder. Generally, it's organized crime. Right, exactly. It's generally organized, based around organized crime activity. And it taints the statistics for the entire state. Well, that doesn't really paint the true picture.
You go to Santa Barbara, you go to Malibu, you go to places, they don't have that kind of stuff. That's not going on. Go to North Hollywood, go to South Central L.A. It's a war zone.
Right. So, I mean...
And Detroit, oh my God.
Those areas just skew the numbers.
But it doesn't change the fact that it does exist. And you know, you have that problem in this country. But it's not guns. It's ironic that liberals talk about this when they're the people who set the policy by which those people live, which, for all intents and purposes, is designed to keep them in that situation. Because what they've done very effectively is divide, and we got an article that will probably come up in the next segment, but they've divided people into small groups and got them fighting with each other and convinced them that only the Democratic Party can save them. Mm-hmm. And as I just said to somebody earlier today, it sort of started with Lyndon Johnson in, about 64, maybe, the Great Society. Really, FDR started it. it goes back to FDR. But Johnson really put the wheels in motion. How many billions of dollars have we spent in these programs? And inner city black people, I would argue that they're worse off than they were in 64.
Absolutely.
There was more overt racism in 64. That's
Sure.
undeniable. But they weren't shooting each other wholesale.
And not only that, but I mean, and we've talked about this before. It all goes back to the breakdown of the nuclear family.
Absolutely.
You can point everything, blame everything on the breakdown of intact families with a mother and a father.
Father's gone. There is no father. Some don't even know who their father was.
Right.
Some
exactly.
of the women don't know.
I was
going to
say some of the moms,
Yeah.
Can't even provide that information. But that gave rise to gangs, and then gangs give rise to
violence,
drugs, crime, violent crime. So yeah, I mean, you can point it all back to that.
And the interesting thing about this is, if you think about it, the reason why gangs is they're filling the void of not having a father and a family.
Absolutely, yeah.
Kids want structure.
Right, they're creating a tribe.
Exactly.
And, a family structure.
And when people say, well, it has nothing to do with that, you're racist, you're this and that. No, I'm not. You don't see that here. You can go into affluent black communities. You don't see those problems.
But there are young people in gangs of every color.
Sure, of course.
It's not
Hispanics,
it's not racist
Asians.
It's not racist because people of every color form gangs.
Sure.
What we're saying is true, that they're simply seeking out leadership and structure, and gangs provide that to them. And it doesn't matter what color you are. Probably the gang member I know the very best is as white as I am. So
Got to tell me who that is on the break.
okay, it's not really a secret, but yeah, it's it has nothing to do with race.
Right.
Absolutely nothing.
Interesting thing happened in Illinois recently, talking about banning guns and all that stuff. The Illinois Supreme Court, in a 7-0 ruling, which is hard to even picture this.
It's unusual.
Yeah, said, you know what, this laws banning guns within 1,000 feet of public parks, that bites the big one. That's not going to
Unconstitutional.
Yeah, not going to work. Illinois Supreme Court said that, 7-0.
That's amazing.
It is. I read that and I thought, no, this is from The Onion, right? Okay, this can't,
Right.
this can't be real. It can't be real.
Exactly.
They noted that Chicago has over 600 city parks.
Right.
So a 1,000-foot restricted zone pretty much bars the city of Chicago.
Right.
Because Chicago, a lot of people don't realize it, Chicago's got a lot of water,
Oh,
a lot of
green
forest, a lot of
space.
parks.
A
Yeah,
lot of green space.
it's very heavy.
Yes.
And all of those, 1,000 feet is a fifth. It's a fifth of a mile.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, and not only that, it doesn't make any sense to me because are they gonna? Is it marked? Are they painting lines so that you know like where 1,000 feet is?
No,
you
they
know?
just arrest you. Cops know where it is. Yeah, so we're going to go. Speaking of which, politicians need to understand that anti-gun laws don't work. There's a shocker. So we're going to discuss that, and we're going to get around to Trump and segmenting society here when we return with more on Target Radio. Hi, I'm David Lombardo, co-host of On Target Radio, and I'd like to offer you a partnership opportunity. For over 4 years, On Target Radio covered the red meat issues that affect your life, from gun control to freedom of speech on AM 560 The Answer. But a 1-minute commercial was $200, making it tough to find enough sponsors. So last November, we left AM 560 and began podcasting. There's a learning curve to podcasting, and we've worked through the kinks and would now like to make you an offer. You can have a 60-second audio or video commercial for as little as $25 a week. We can also offer fellow conservatives their own radio or video podcast for as little as $100 a week, with equipment and technical personnel included. You provide the content and host, plus get 6 free minutes of commercial time you can sell yourself. If you'd like to be an On Target Radio sponsor or explore the possibility of having your own show, call me at 815-741-3474, and let's explore the possibilities together.
You're listening to On Target Radio with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
This segment is brought to you by the Will County Grassroots Division of the Illinois State Rifle Association. Join like-minded friends supporting the right to keep and bear arms in Illinois at 7 p.m. on the third Wednesday of the month at the Silver Dollar Restaurant in Elwood, Illinois.
We actually have a speaker coming up, but, the accountant, is he running for state treasurer?
Yes, Jim Dodge.
No, wrong guy.
Jim Dodge is running for state treasurer.
It's not him.
Okay.
No,
Well,
but we know it. It's somebody we know. I can't think of his name all of a sudden.
the accountant.
Yeah, he's an accountant. I think he's in New Lenox, but he's run for office before. Oh, well, actually, duh.
I can't.
I have
I
it
can't
right.
think.
I
I
have it
can't think which bean counter you're talking about.
Yeah, no, it's, Don't
Steve
go.
Weber. I'll put in a plug for Steve Weber.
Weber.
Is
It's
running
Steve
for
It's Steve
Will
Weber.
County treasurer.
Will County treasurer. There you go. So Steve Weber's going to be our speaker. It's Will County. Because I wanted to write it in, and I thought, I can't remember. I thought it was, is he running for state? But I couldn't find anything that said he was running for state. He's running for Will County. Good guy. He's got an archery store.
Yeah, I just heard that.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
No.
I knew he was still working. He still actively works as an accountant. But I didn't realize he had any other businesses.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so that should be interesting.
There you go.
He'll come tell us why Will County is doing so well.
Yeah, he loves doing that.
Although there's a real question.
He loves bragging on how he balances our multi-million-dollar budget down to the penny. He does.
But do we need all those new buildings? That's terrible. No, never mind. I'm not going.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have fisticuffs. Festivus is gonna come early.
Festivus,
We're gonna have the feats of strength and
Feats of
airing of
strength,
grievances
yeah.
all wrapped into one.
I just find it interesting.
Do not start with me.
I just find it interesting that you can build all these new buildings without raising taxes, and somebody's complaining.
And people still complain.
Yeah. They never had to go in that stupid building at Laraway. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
if all they had to do was go in there when it was raining one time,
Yep.
and that pretty much would solve that.
Yeah. Or use the ladies' room
Yeah.
or anything
Yeah.
like that.
I think they took the camera out finally. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Retrieve records from the storage room in the ladies' room.
It's in the new building. Yeah. Yeah.
No.
I wonder if any deputies will be in touch with their feminine side in the new building.
Hopefully only the feminine ones.
And there are some. So anyway,
Yeah, they're called women.
sometimes you can't tell. When a deputy is a female name but more facial hair than you do.
I'm going to
there's-
tell Pam you're saying this.
Who?
Pam,
Which Pam?
your friend Pam.
Oh, Pam. Yeah, Pam. I think she's retiring though.
Well, you better hope so.
Yeah, she'll kill me. She's a nice lady. I like her. Anyway, we covered that. Hell with that. So, Republicans quitting the NRA. Okay, the short answer is no, they're not going to. But this is in Salon magazine, which
Salon. Well, I don't think it's a magazine. I think it's only a
well,
website
it's
now.
yeah,
Maybe
it's an electronic.
Yeah, maybe it was a magazine at one time.
The FBI is investigating the NRA for possibly funneling Russian money to help Donald Trump win the presidency in 2016.
Yeah, right.
These people are so locked onto this.
They're grasping at straws.
There is not a single shred of anything that actually substantiated nothing. And now they found the memo.
Yeah.
They got the memo, and all of this stuff is all put up. It's all a big lie. The Democrats have fabricated this stuff.
Well, it seems to me like from reading the actual memo, it seems like the main problem is that these FISA applications, so they have to apply to this court to be able to surveil, Americans legally.
Right.
They have to get permission, and basically what the memo says is the information, they have to have probable cause to apply for this,
Exactly.
to get this warrant. And that probable cause, the information presented, the evidence presented to the court should include both sides, basically. It should include the pros and the cons of if we have information that says, actually, this is a good person and they're not doing anything wrong, they're supposed to present that as well, and they did not do that. They had positive information about the person in question, and they excluded that from their application.
They lied.
Yeah, they lied.
Lied by default.
Lied by exclusion. Yes.
So, you know, the whole thing has been a sham. They've lied about getting it so they could do the wiretapping. You know, Trump, during the campaign, do you remember when all of a sudden one day announced that they were pulling everybody out of Trump building and moving them to a new location? Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was a big deal. It was on the TV and on the radio, and they're going, the entire staff, that Donald Trump presidential election staff, the entire staff moved out of Trump Towers or whatever they called it into a different building, and people are like, "What's this about?"
And
Trump said, "President is wiretapping me," and everyone goes, "Yeah,
right.
Yeah, right." Well,
Vulgar
you know what?
hand gesture.
They were.
They were.
It was true.
No, there's evidence.
Yeah.
There's evidence that they were.
It's interesting in this Salon piece. Some of the stuff they say is you can agree with it. It says in 2016, the NRA topped its own record by spending more than $419 million to influence election outcomes, with the money focusing on the Trump and Republican candidates in 6 key Senate races. More than $35 million of that was spent by the NRA Institute for Legislative Action. Good.
Yeah.
They do it. Why can't we do it?
Right.
You know? And the one that I really enjoy in here is the one that says, according to a recent Washington poll, 65% of Americans assign a lot of blame to money in politics for causing dysfunction in the U.S. political system, and 96% assign at least some blame. I agree. Have you ever heard of Bloomberg?
Well, yeah.
Have you ever heard
of
Soros?
Lobbyists, like any lobbyist you can name.
This is true.
Yeah,
but they're painting
true.
it like it's just Republicans doing it illegally.
Which is, of
this
course.
is what everybody does.
I think, you know, my personal opinion is the Democrats invented it and we just copied them. We're just trying to keep up, really.
Could be. Rachel Curley in that article goes on to say, the mounting evidence that secret money is destroying our democracy has reached a crescendo. Bloomberg,
I'm not really sure
Soros,
how secret it is.
Well, yeah, it's not.
But yeah,
Soros has
I was going to say
billions of
say
dollars.
Bloomberg and Soros, anyone.
Billions of dollars. And what makes it worse, donating money to help someone get elected to presidency is one thing. Giving money to people to go out and cause riots and shoot police officers and stuff, it's not quite what we do.
No.
It's a little different than what we do.
No, we don't do that.
Yeah, we don't do that.
We do have compunctions about that.
Yeah. Which is our problem. We play fair. I say we need to do X and Y, and Ronkowski goes, "You can't do that." I go, "They do it." Nah, but it's not legal.
It's not legal.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Well,
maybe it's time.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to
fight fire with fire.
Sometimes you have to color outside the lines.
Yeah.
So, John Spann texted me, and he said, "Everyone thinks about how to kill themselves. The prudent keep it to themselves." So apparently, I'm imprudent.
Take his card away. Yeah. I don't want him on the range going, "I think I'll kill myself." What if he misses and hits me?
Right, or me, or anybody.
Okay, that was so egocentric. that was like the most egocentric thing I've heard all day.
John smiles too much and laughs too much to be suicidal. I can't believe it.
He's not suicidal. Clearly not.
No.
I'm not saying that I've ever thought about actually doing it. I don't think I would actually do it because I'm not depressed enough. But I think everybody not everybody. Most people think about, okay, like what could I tolerate? Okay.
You think about this?
In this room, I'm alone, but at least I have John on my side.
Like at night, when I lay in bed for the 15 seconds before I pass out and I go into a coma, I don't sit there and go, "I'm going to go kill myself." Now, I have on times thought, "I'm going to kill that guy." The only reason some people are alive is because it's illegal to kill them. Right.
Yes.
But for me to off myself, because here's the thing: if I kill myself, I'll never know how it would have turned out. You know me.
You won't anyway.
I'm the perpetual optimist. Am I not?
You are.
I look at stuff and I go, "We can do that."
Yeah.
turns to shit. But at least initially,
ding, 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 ding. The tote board lights up.
At least initially, I'm like, we can do this. Look, we're doing a radio show in my dining room.
But people love it.
I think they just like to see my entire life in upheaval. I think that's what they like. But
that's not the feedback that I'm getting
from the three people who
John
listen.
said you don't have to worry about him shooting himself because he wouldn't waste the ammo.
Now that is John Spain.
That's
okay. That's the sense of humor. You gotta love the guy. Gotta love him.
Gotta love him.
Yeah, because you're not coming back. That's it. This is my seat. I know what's going on here. I know what's happening here. There's a little plot underway. The census thing I find very interesting. Liberals have literally made it an art form to carve society into small segments, make them war with each other, and then say, well, we're the only ones that can save you. It's a classic case of they create the problem, and then they offer the solution. And the solution never does anything except create more problems.
Except make it worse, yeah.
So under Obama, they came up with this plan, and he assumed that Hillary was going to get elected, and everything would be hunky-dory. They broke down the census. Under white, which, by the way, is a color, not a race,
Right.
you have to check German, Italian, Irish, Polish, English, French, or other.
Or fill in the blank, yeah.
Fill in the blank, right. Hispanic, Latin, Latino, or Spanish. Latino's a made-up word.
Yeah, apparently, well, Hispanic, yeah, they're saying that's not really a race.
Right. So Mexican or Mexican-American, Salvadorian, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Cuban, Colombian, whatever, fill in the blank. And all of these things, black or African-American, Jamaican, Ethiopian, this is the United States of America. Why do they want to do that? They want to do that because they want to segment people, then target them with something, freebie, which makes them vote.
Right.
Trump is going, no, we're Americans.
Well, the problem, at least the latest thing that Trump has done, is that Obama wanted to add a new one.
Exactly.
We're out of time.
When we return with the new one, we're going to come back with the new one.
Wow. The new one, which is not going to happen.
And John Spann will make fun of this, I'm sure. But when we come back, we're going to talk about the new one. All that and more when we return with more on Target Radio.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. The On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook, and lunch are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invites you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com.
Or call 815-741-3474. That's 815-741-3474. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
In need of a ride to O'Hare or Midway Airport? Well, look no further. The Yellow Checker Cab Company is the cab company for you. With the Yellow Checker Cab Company, you will always be greeted by a friendly face and arrive safely and on time for your flight. Start your trip off right by taking advantage of one of their limos, shuttle vans, cabs, or courtesy cars. And airport trips are not all they specialize in. This 24-hour cab service will pick you up anytime, any day, for any occasion. From bachelorette parties to school dances to just a night out with friends. Yellow Checker Cab Company has the best rates in town. So sit back, relax, and leave the driving to the professionals. Once you experience their fast and affordable cab service, you'll be a customer for life. When it comes to cab companies, be sure to choose Yellow Checker Cab because you have the right to expect certain things from your cab company. For further information or to book your trip today, call 815-744-2900. That's 815-744-2900.
You're listening to On Target Radio with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life. Stand by. Here's Gretchen with your action items for the week.
From the Illinois State Rifle Association, the House Rules Committee recently released Senate Bill 1657 back onto the House floor for its third reading. Contact your representative and politely tell him or her that you are a law-abiding gun owner and that you expect them to vote against SB 1657. I texted my representative because I happen to have his phone number, and he said, not a problem. And his initials are MB. Attention all Will County patriots, especially those in Homer Glen, Lockport, and Orland Park areas. Save the date for the next fundraiser for Steve Balich for Will County Board. Join Gretchen and David Monday, March 12th from 6 to 9 p.m. at Ruby Agave Latin Restaurant in Homer Glen to support Steve's re-election. Your $35 donation gets you great food and draft beer. House Minority Leader Jim Durkin and State Representative Margo McDermott, along with Lori McPhillips and most of the Will County Board Republican caucus, will be there to meet you and to take your questions. The following Safer USA classes are at our facility in Waterman. Sunday, February 11th, NRA Range Safety Officer, taught by David. Saturday and Sunday, February 17th and 18th, NRA Pistol Instructor, taught by David. Saturday and Sunday, March 3rd and 4th, Illinois Concealed Carry 1. This 16-hour class will be taught by David and Gretchen and meets the training requirements for Illinois Concealed Carry as well as Florida and Arizona. To sign up for classes, go to saferusa.com and click on register.
You are going to pick up where we left off?
Yes. So, the new group that Obama wanted to make available. Not sure that was the right one. The new designation that Obama wanted to make available on the census, the next census, is Middle Eastern or North African. Provide details below: Lebanese, Syrian, Iranian, Moroccan, Egyptian, Israel, or fill in the blank.
I have several things I could fill in that blank with.
I have some choice words I would fill in the blank with.
Okay.
The problem with this, that I see, as I see it, is that apparently we're trying to figure out, Obama wanted to figure out, the Democrats wanted to figure out, how many Muslims do we have in this country? The problem is that just because you're from one of these countries does not mean you're Muslim.
Right.
Because Muslim is a religion.
Yep.
And you can be white and Muslim. So, you know, they're really grasping at straws, as far as I can say.
That whole administration was grasping at straws. Well, actually, they're stealing the straws, is more likely. But yeah. So Trump basically said, "We're not going to do this."
No.
You know, he's.
It's one of my favorite. I've come to find out one of my favorite words in the English language is no.
No.
And I love it when Trump says it.
Yeah. The interesting thing, though, about this whole Census Bureau thing is the information that the census collects helps determine how $400 billion of money is spent.
Yep.
So when you break it into little groups of people, right, these are from the south of France versus the other groups in North France, you can buy them fromage. I will buy you the fromage.
A baguette.
If you will vote Democratic, you know, and the fromage, yes, le petit déjeuner with fromage is so nice. So, you know, and literally that's what they do. They wanted to splinter everybody and then say, well, you guys get this little bit of money here. We do that for your school.
They want to make sure
programs.
that it's evenly distributed amongst all the minorities.
Are we a minority now?
Not yet.
You sure?
Yeah.
Are you absolutely sure about that?
I am 100%
in the greater metropolitan Chicago area?
Oh, well, I was thinking the whole United States. I wasn't thinking like just...
Greater metropolitan Chicago area?
Oh, we may be in this area. Yeah. I'm not sure.
May well be.
If all the other races get together and gang up on us, they might be able to do that.
Oh, that's a possibility. The other thing that the little blurb that we have here that I find very interesting, Onan Coca wrote this in Constitutions. State of the Union. Everything the man said was basically campaign promises that he kept. Okay? So, since the election, he's created 2.4 million jobs, which that's unbelievable.
Well, Trump didn't do it. The American economy did it. Businesses did it.
But Trump is the guy that spurred the economy.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, the government does not create jobs.
No, I didn't mean that the government created it.
Okay, I'm just trying to
the
say...
policy.
Yes, you are correct.
Because under Obama,
yes,
his policy
Trump's policies are good for job creation.
Right.
Yes, but,
So,
Obama and the Democrats, they always want to talk about the government creating jobs.
Yeah,
no.
Well, actually, it sort of does, because they keep expanding government.
They often do, yes,
Yeah.
but that's not what we want. Those are not the jobs we want them to create.
Stock market has put more than $8 trillion into the economy through growth, just through growth. Unemployment's 45-year low. All of this stuff, African Americans, Hispanic unemployment is the lowest level ever recorded. All that's going on. And he's doing the State of the Union thing, and it's just one thing after people are, prosperity's back, bank accounts are growing, all this stone.
Yeah.
Nothing.
The Democrats were all like picking their fingernails.
Yeah,
and stuff.
and you would think when they said African Americans and Hispanic unemployment is at the lowest all-time rate, you'd think at least you get a little something out of them for that.
Right, you'd think
They
at least the
don't
Black
care.
Caucus would throw you a bone.
Do not care. It's the wrong prosperity.
Yep.
It's the wrong prosperity. And then there's that group of people who are going, well, Trump, it was Obama's policies finally kicked in. Really?
After 9 years?
Yes, after
Really?
9 years. After 9 years of shrinkage, suddenly, sure, they kicked in. He got out of office. Everyone goes, this is great. Let's go do something,
Yeah. Exactly.
The guy just can't get a break.
But what Trump said, this was in the Republican retreat that they had, and he was talking to the legislators, the Republican legislators, and he says, which tells you perhaps they'd rather not see us do well.
Exactly.
That rather than see the country do great, that's not good. That they don't want what's best for America.
Let's be candid. People in misery are good for liberals.
Oh yeah, they're good for socialism.
Right.
Specifically.
The more unhappy
specifically.
people are, the better it is for liberalism.
Absolutely.
And that's why liberals hate conservatives so much.
You can buy their votes more cheaply the more unhappy
right,
they are.
Right. Give them a little fromage.
Right. Exactly. Throw them some crappy cell phones and some.
They love the cell phone.
Some
Free
mortgage
cell phone.
bailouts,
Yeah.
and
It's and the Republicans are like, dude, get a job. Get a job. Join the crowd. We'll all party on Friday night.
Well, right. I mean, Republicans believe that if you strive, everybody has an equal chance to make it big. To do really, really well.
And liberalism faults people for being successful.
Mm-hmm.
If you're making $1 million, there's something wrong with that in their mind. You making $1 million does not prevent me from making $1 million.
Right. The part that I never can understand, that I never can wrap my mind around, maybe we have a liberal viewer who can demystify this for me. What I never can understand is how they are so blind to the people that they say they want to be in charge are filthy, disgusting rich. Yeah. John Kerry, the
Maxine
Clintons.
Waters.
Yeah. All these people are filthy, disgusting rich, and they act like it's only Republicans who are rich.
Because they're good at getting the message out.
Yeah, Al Gore is another one.
Al Gore, we've said this before, but Al Gore's property, which is huge, consumes more energy than the community around him. Yeah. And he's the guy that talks about
he's the guy with the carbon credits.
Right. I mean, and nobody calls him on it.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton, they show that poster. Which one of these houses is Hillary Clinton? All of them.
Yeah.
They're all Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, and they're all huge mansions. They have one kid.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you got to have room.
I think they have like one grandkid.
Look, let's be honest. If I were married to Hillary Clinton, I'd want a house somewhere else too.
True.
Yeah, I'd want.
You'd want to live in a house where you'd never actually have to run into her.
Exactly, and we're somewhere near where Monica lived. I don't know where she lives now. Where does she live?
I think she's still in New York somewhere.
Is she in
isn't
New York? Yeah. Monica, poor Monica. Poor woman for
Poor
the rest of her
Monica.
life. She'll never live it
She's
down.
like the permanent punchline of every joke.
She is. Which is sad. Because
It is sad.
what she did was something stupid, but everybody
She
does
was
something
in her
stupid
20s.
at some point
exactly.
in their life. You know?
Everybody in their 20s does
Right.
stupid crap.
And let's face it, if you're working for the President of the United States and he shows an interest in
That's
you.
some heady stuff.
It is literally, yes. But the point is, well, I didn't say that. You did. Let's have a cigar. Let's have a cigar
I wasn't
over
trying
that.
to tee you up, though. I wasn't.
No, what you did.
I did
at
not
all.
intend to tee you up.
It's like golf. You play the ball where it lays, okay? It doesn't matter how it got there. You just play the ball where it lays.
I know.
But, you know, it's sad. And people, you know, they want to blame Monica Lewinsky for that thing. She's a kid working for the President of the United States who's showing an interest in her. What do you think she's going to do?
Exactly.
So, yeah, it is kind of a shame. But she's a liberal, so the hell with her. Anyway.
Well, you assume she's still a liberal.
There's a joke there, but I'm definitely not going
That could be enough
after
to
this
get
one.
you to
Yeah.
switch teams.
On the break, I'll tell you the joke.
Okay, please do.
Mueller.
I want to talk about the Russians.
Well, okay,
We've
go
only
ahead.
got 3 minutes left,
Talk
so
about the
let's talk
Russians.
about the Russians.
Talk about the Russians.
Apparently, there is a leaked, there was a document leaked, or information leaked, I should say. The American government has found out that the Russian government is developing one mother of a nuclear weapon.
Yeah.
They call it, well, the Russians euphemistically call it Ocean Multipurpose System Status 6.
That's
Which
pretty
just
sanitized.
Rolls right off the tongue. Yeah. It's a intercontinental nuclear-armed undersea autonomous torpedo. It's a drone torpedo.
It's not going to do well on the coast.
No, it's gonna. I'm up to like 4 credits, so I'm gonna say it's gonna fuck some shit up.
Wow.
I've been saving it for a while. I've been saving them up, so just for just such a time as this. So it's the payload. Let's talk about payload. 100 megaton thermonuclear weapon.
It makes Hiroshima look like a firecracker.
It makes Hiroshima look like a joke. Hiroshima was 16 kilotons, which is the equivalent of 16,000 tons of TNT.
Yeah.
So this one, the U.S. calls it Canyon. The Canyon nuke would be the equivalent of 100 million tons of TNT.
You know why they call it Canyon? Because that's what it's
Because it's going to make a canyon, exactly.
Yeah, it's going to make a canyon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, because it's a torpedo, it would generate an artificial tsunami that would surge inland, spreading radioactive contamination with the advancing water. Contaminated areas would be off limits to humanity for up to 100 years.
So if it's California, you know.
There's
I'm just saying.
silver lining.
Yeah.
He's the silver lining guy.
There's some good that comes out of everything.
Well, yeah. So I want to know what the comparison is to our MOA, our mother of all bombs.
No, it's not. There's really not a comparison. Because that's tactical. It's dropping it in.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
This is like, just let's take out a country.
Just by way of comparison, I'm just curious, because I love the meme with the mother of all bombs, where I can't remember what the ones were called that we bombed the airfield in Syria with, and the mother of all bomb goes, "Hold my beer."
Right. Yeah. And it doesn't compare. And this saying comes from Dr. Strangelove. But anyway, we're out of time, right? We got 40 seconds left, don't we?
We're out of time.
So I got to read this thing. We're going to do this. We're going to be on time.
Let's do the close.
We'd like to thank you for taking the time to listen tonight and listen to Gretchen swear. We'd appreciate if you tell your friends about her swearing and On Target Radio.
We'd also like to thank our engineer, Eric Allen, and our sponsors, the Will County chapter of the Illinois State Rifle Association, Yellow Checker of Joliet, My Editor, Creative Business Services, the Aurora Sportsman's Club, and Safer USA.
Yeah, Eric Allen, who doesn't swear. But anyway, and finally,
He does. He's off the air.
we'll hope that you listen next week when we'll be covering more red meat issues that affect your life.